Welcome to the podcast growers. This is Learn as you grow. Whether you've got a balcony, a windowsill, or no land at all, you can grow your own food. We are going to share gardening tips, ideas, and inspiration to help you cultivate your best garden in and self. We grow every day in every way. Let's talk about all the ways to grow food when you don't have land. My question for you is, do you garden without land, and what is your biggest challenge? Now, I think the most obvious option is container gardening. You can put them anywhere and everywhere. We can talk about the best crops for container gardening, your herbs, different greens. There's micro dwarf tomatoes, certain root vegetables. You also have to talk about the right containers and soil, watering and drainage tips, maximizing space with stackable and hanging containers. Spoiler alert, we have an entire conversation dedicated to container gardening coming up in our future episode. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you get notified when that comes out. When we talk about growing in containers, most types of plants you can grow in a container when you're understanding the root system that it has and how much depth that plant needs to grow. For what the container is, you can opt for wooden troughs, terracotta pots, recycled buckets, old bathtubs, something that you can't use anymore for its original purpose, but you can repurpose it to plant in. There's wall mounting containers, hanging planters, growing vertically, growing along. Pretty much anything is possible with container gardening. Understanding your sun exposure, how much sun is that container going to get, determines what crops you can put in it. Also, as far as your soil mix, we're not taking dirt from the earth, soil from the earth, and plopping it into our container. It's always a balanced mix. We have peat moss, vermiculite, compost, worm castings. They sell containers, mixes, I should say, of soil that say potting soil. It's lighter, it's fluffier, right? Now, drainage. Every single container needs to have drainage. I don't care who you are, you need to have some type of drainage in it. Now, knowing your climate is going to help you take care of your container. Does it get hot fast? Do you need to water 3 times a day? Maybe you need to have a tray at the bottom and bottom water so it soaks up water as needed. Do you live somewhere where it rains heavily? That's where you would make sure that it drains well and does not have something sitting underneath it to capture the water in a tray, right? When you're planting containers, whether on a balcony or a window box or your stairs, you need to keep in mind about pollinator-friendly plants. Plants that attract bees and other pollinators can be herbs, vegetables, and just basic flowers. So keep that in mind when you're making your grow list, of course. When growing without land, vertical gardening is your best friend. Do-it-yourself vertical garden ideas with trellises, wall planters, and shelving. The best plants for vertical gardens are your vining plants or like hangers, your strawberries, peas need support, beans. You could do bush beans, but if we're talking vertical, it'd be pole. You can do indoor and outdoor growing setups. We did an entire live stream about hydroponics and indoor gardening, the basics of hydroponics and aquaponics. We've talked about growing microgreens and herbs indoors, the best lighting and water strategies. So check out that live stream. If you want me to do a podcast about it, leave a comment below and let me know. Now, maybe you are thinking, none of these work for me, Shawnee. I cannot grow this way. Well, you should check out a community gardening or shared space. There are usually, in most places, church or the city provides a space that usually you have to pay to rent, but you get your own space away from home to garden and grow things in. Now, keeping in mind where your sun exposure is, where's your access to water, what's on your crops list, are you going to be there every day? Because if not, don't plant things that need your attention every day. There's guerrilla gardening, growing in public or abandoned spaces. I don't know the laws in your area, and if you want to abide by those and take enter at your own risk, but if there's a place that you commonly walk or go or hunting land, I'm just saying, keep some seeds in your pocket, find a little area, mark it somehow so you remember how to get to it, right? Tell me if you guerrilla garden in the comments below. Of course, collaborating with neighbors or family. I mean, I grow away from home. I don't grow where I live. It's somebody else's land. We just have an agreement that I can grow food on their land, and we talk about what I'm allowed to plant, what do they want to eat, what do I want to eat. Maybe you have a neighbor that has a beautiful yard and you want to turn it into a garden. Of course, there's creative and unconventional methods like your balcony and rooftop gardening. We did a live stream about gardening without land, and we looked at all these different balcony rooftop gardens, and a lot of them were laid out just for looks, if I want to say it that way. They didn't have much food growing. Now, there was a few that looked like your typical raised bed garden, and they were producing food. So check out the visual images in that live stream. And of course, growing food on windowsills, using recycled materials for do-it-yourself garden setups. Pretty much if you can put soil in it and you can get water and sun, you can grow in it, right? So I'd love to hear from you. What are the ways you garden without land of your own? The whole microgreen conversation, if we go back to that for indoor gardening, is so tasty and excellent to have. For microgreens, it takes 7 to 14 days or less, and you have food, and it's highly nutritious. We have shorts where we showed what we do here. Basically, you're taking a lot of seeds. You know, we've done sunflowers, we've done greens. You can do your brassica mix. You heavily sow it in a tray with soil, keep it watered, give it light, give it warmth, all the things plants need. Once the plant has its cotyledon leaves and it's 2 inches tall, you cut it, wash it, and eat it. We talked about all the different ways like sandwiches, salads, soups, garnishes, just snack on them. Microgreens. You can grow food indoors. The other side of this is sprouts. So what the sprouts are, which we've done shorts about, is taking a seed like let's say mung bean, and you're soaking it in a jar with filtered water overnight. You strain out the water, give it a rinse, and you're now letting that jar sit on the counter with just the seeds in it and a little bit of that water moisture. It's not sitting in water anymore. And twice a day, you rinse it with filtered water and strain it out and let it sit on the counter. After 3 to 5 days, you should see germination. You should see sprouts coming out, and you can harvest and eat those right before the leaves form. If you want leaves to form, go ahead, but you rinse them, wash them, and eat them. They're very good. And that didn't require any extra soil or light system. It's just sitting on your counter. Don't forget to propagate herbs, of course, taking a cutting at the stem between the leaves at a 45-degree angle and placing it in a glass jar full of water. Once the roots reach about 2 inches long, you can replant it in potting soil and it turns into an entirely new plant. It's a great way to get more herbs for less money. We have a live stream coming up where we're going to talk about growing from your pantry, and it's going to touch on this whole propagating herbs. What are the herbs, right? Give me the list. That's coming up, so make sure you're subscribed for that future live stream, and eventually it will be a podcast here. So, what's your biggest challenge when gardening without land? Is it just simply your space does not have enough sunlight? You have no space to even come up with any way to do any of this, finding the right container or setup, or staying consistent with care? What type of gardening setup are you most interested in learning about? Is it container gardening? Is it vertical gardening, hydroponics, or balcony or rooftop setups? Please understand how much sunlight does your space get daily. Full sun is 6+ hours. Partial sun is 3 to 6 hours. Mostly shade is less than 3 hours. That determines your crops that you can grow. Okay. And if you could garden anywhere, what would your dream setup be? A rooftop garden, a big backyard, a cozy greenhouse, urban balcony with vertical planters? What's on your grow list if you can't have a yard? What are you most excited to grow without a yard? Is it herbs? Is it leafy greens? Is it tomatoes, peppers? Maybe it's strawberries or berries. There's even dwarf citrus that people put in containers and grow on apartment balconies if they have the right sun exposure and if they have not the right season for it all year round. Like, let's say they get a harsh winter, they're bringing those plants inside and supporting them that way, right? So don't forget to check out my YouTube channel, Shawnee Grows, for even more tips and live streams. Thanks for listening to Learn As You Grow. Be sure to follow the podcast, leave a review, and share it with a fellow gardener. Until next time, grow every day in every way.